Hey guys, and welcome to another video in this Pytest series. In this session, I want to talk about how we can use parameterize. So let's just take this following example here. Imagine you want to run a function with a range of inputs to test it. So imagine you had this multiply func here. You could write like 5 different tests, like test A, test B, and then pass in 10 and 5, check it gets 50. You could do that, but what you could do to avoid duplicating yourself is to use the parameterize, I hope I'm saying that right, use this fixture to basically say, here's loads of A's, loads of B's, here's loads of expected results. Go ahead and just pass them in all at once, like one after each other, and just make sure that they all come back correct. So basically it's Pytest giving you a little fixture you can use just to avoid duplicating yourself. So what we'll do it in this really simple function here. We'll write a single test just to pass in something for A and B and then some expected result. And we'll then use our Pytest fixture to then go ahead and use parameterize. So start off with saying from main, let's go ahead and import multiply here. I'm also going to import Pytest at the same time. And let's just do a really simple test and just do it with a single input, or in this case a single A and B input, and then a single expected result. So we'll do test multiply like this here, and then inside this, let's just go ahead and then do, let's see, result is equal to multiply, and let's just do 10, 5, and then of course we then want to assert that when we do 10 times 5, we get back the result of 50. So we'll run our test, and yeah, looks good. Let's just actually check it works. We'll break our code, and there we go. Okay, so there's our simple test. Let's just run that again and get it all cleaned up. Now, you could do like test multiply A, do something like this and copy it down. Yeah, it might be okay for some situations, but it's not probably the smartest way of doing it. So what we're going to be doing is decorating this function with some features from Pytest and just say, here's loads of A's, loads of B's, and then here's loads of things we expect to come back on the other side. So the way we do this, I'm going to do, let's do A here, B, and then do expected here. Now this probably looks a bit strange because, well, where do these come from? And these are going to be coming from our decorator. What I want to do first though is just replace the 10 with A. We're going to be replacing the 5 with B, and then do expected. There it is here. So our decorator is basically going to be providing A, B, and expected, and then basically just do this a load of times with something for A, something for B, something for expected, and you can sort of see it a little bit like a for loop, but yeah, let's go ahead and build this up. We'll just do a single input for each first, we'll then build it up so it's doing a couple of different test cases. Now the way we do this is we do at pytest.mark, and then we do .parameterize here. So I had to copy and paste that in, that's terrible. And now what we do here is we basically build up our A's, B's, and our expecteds. And syntax is a little bit funky, so we're first going to be passing in a string, followed by a list here. Now, this bit here, this first bit in the string, is basically just to replicate what's in here. So I had to pass in A, B, and then expected here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we have this. What we now need to then do is actually set up some things to be representing A, B, and expected. So the way to see this is to basically have one tuple per set of test cases. So if I just did a single tuple here and then did 10, 5, and see, where is it? 50 of this. This is one test case, 10, 5, 50. Let's go ahead and try running our code. Now we see, yeah, absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and break it, 10, 5, 51. Okay, so see how that fails here? So our actual multiply function gave back 50, but we had said 51. Let's go ahead and then do another tuple. So let's say 10, 10, so 10 times 10 should be 100. Let's actually space this out a little bit, and then we'll do a third test case, 1, 1, 1, like this. Let's go ahead and try that. So see what's cool about that? Collected 3 items, but we only have 1 test. That's the job of this here. So let's just structure this out a little bit. The way I'll generally try and do this, if you use something like rough, it might be a bit easier. There you go, structure like that might look a little bit nicer. There you go, that structure might be a bit nicer for you. So let's go ahead and maybe do one more down here. Let's suppose if we did 7 times 8, we'd expect 56. So now this is basically 4 tests, so we should run it and see that we have 4 tests. and they've all passed. So that's what Parameterize does. We can define a single test here. We can say, okay, we need this input, and this is what we expect. The decorator then comes along, and you basically have to match this with this here. So my test requires A, B, expected. So we do A, B, expected as a string. You then do a list of tuples, where each tuple, these are basically your test cases. So because I've got A, B, expected, tuples need to have A, B, expected. And it's just one of those things where once you kind of grasp the syntax of this string has to match this kind of input notation here, and okay, now I've got this done, I can now set up some test cases. It just becomes a really nice, straightforward way to basically write one test, and then with your decorator, make it do a ton of test cases rather than just doing one. It's something I tried to use in work a fair amount as well, and in my own code. It's just a nice way to make your test a bit more robust. Cheers for watching, guys. Have a great week, and see you all in the next session.